Okay, here at Berkeley, we have the privilege and pleasure to work with many outstanding students, and many of these go on to become leaders in their chosen profession. So the EECS department established the EECS Distinguished Alumni Awards in recent years to recognize the accomplishments of some of our most distinguished alumni. And it's our pleasure to actually present some of these awards for 2015 here today. So we'll start with Mike.
Okay, well, so our first winner on the computer science side of the award is Mike Olson. So Mike received his Bachelor of Science from Berkeley in 1991 and his MS in 1993. He was CEO of Sleepy Cat Software, which was acquired by Oracle in 2006. And then he became founder and CEO of Cloudera, one of the leading big data companies out there today, where he currently serves as chairman of the board and chief strategy officer. Mike's been a huge supporter of the department since the time he was here as a student. He's been on our industrial advisory board for a long time, and he recently took on a new role as head of our new entrepreneurial advisory board, where he's trying to help EECS chart a course through all the interesting activities that are going on with startups, help students and faculty figure out how to engage with the entrepreneurial community. He's not able to be here today. He's traveling, but I'm really happy to announce that he is one of the winners of the award, and his citation is up there. It's for his contributions in developing advanced data management technology and his leadership in making open source software a key part of the big data ecosystem. So why don't we give a round of applause to Mike, who's making it here.
Okay, next, I'd like to present an EE Distinguished Alumni Award. Professor Asad Abedi, if you could please come up. Professor Abedi received his master's degree and PhD degree here. He worked for Professor Bob Meyer, who is also here in the audience today, to welcome him back. Professor Abedi spent a few years at Bell Labs after finishing his PhD before he joined the faculty at UCLA. He was the founding dean of the School of Science and Engineering at the Lahore University of Management Sciences in Pakistan, and he continues to hold an appointment there in addition to his post as Distinguished Chancellor's Professor of Electrical Engineering at UCLA. Professor Abedi is an IEEE Fellow, and he is one of only 3 Pakistani members of the National Academy of Engineering. In 2008, he was awarded the IEEE Donald Peterson Award in solid-state circuits, and in 2009, he became a member of the Third World Academy of Sciences. It's my pleasure to welcome Professor Abedi back to Berkeley and to recognize him as one of our EE Distinguished Alumni for 2015 for his pioneering contributions to electronic circuits, in particular in establishing the fundamentals of CMOS RFIC design. So, Professor Abedi. So, a formal plaque actually will be mailed to Professor Abedi, but we'd like to welcome you to give a few more remarks.
While I may not have served or supported UCB EECS in the readily recognized ways that some of the other awardees may have, I believe I've honored its intellectual traditions. In the past several years, my teaching of circuits reformulates and weaves together the richness of the electronics pedagogies of Professors Peterson, Gray, Meyer, and Hodges with the apparently distant but actually intimately linked theoretical unifications that Professors de Soer, Koo, and Chua spent many years working on. So in certain ways, I think that I remain one of the drivers of the train that was set in motion by the Berkeley School of Circuits and Systems in the late 1970s while I was a graduate student here. I was very pleasantly surprised to be nominated and very happy to have received this award. Thank you.
Okay, and our next awardee is Dr. Mark Wegman. Mark received his PhD in computer science in 1981, which incidentally is the year that the RISC-1 chip was taped out, I guess. And there's a ceremony this afternoon where the IEEE is awarding the department an IEEE milestone for that event. So if you're around, look for that. But back to Mark. Small advertisement there. His advisor was Professor Susan Graham. He joined IBM actually before graduating and has worked there ever since, being named an IBM Fellow in 2007. He was one of the inventors of the static single assignment form, which is used in pretty much all modern day compilers, and has made contributions to algorithms and information theory, including universal hashing and the LZMW data compression algorithm, where I assume you're the MW in that?
I'm the W.
You're the W in that, okay.
And Ms. Miller.
Okay, Ms. Miller. He was named an ACM Fellow in 1995, an IEEE Fellow in 2004, and in 2010 was elected to the National Academy of Engineering. We're proud to name Dr. Mark Regman one of our CS Distinguished Alumni for his fundamental contributions to computer algorithms and compiler optimization that have influenced many areas of computer science theory and practice. So let's welcome Mark. Thank you very much. All right.
Thank you.
Want to say a word or two?
Well, sure. So I guess I want to thank Berkeley for this award, but more importantly for the education I received here and the friends I've made since. I mean, you know, if I think back to the beginnings of my career, computer science was of course very different. I mean, you know, I was comparing notes with a current graduate student, and I got through the PhD program with essentially no undergraduate training in 3 years. That's because there was much less known then, and you didn't have to know as much. Now you've got to actually learn something before you could start doing research. It's much easier then, but still, you know, the friends I made then who taught me how to do research, how to think about critical things, that training is still something I use and value, and I wouldn't be able to accomplish all the things Michael was kind enough to say about me earlier without that. So, you know, for those of you who are graduate students here and undergraduates, you know, have a good time, learn a lot, and for the faculty, thank you.
Finally, I'd like to invite Dr. Ta-Lin Su up to the stage. Dr. Su received his PhD in EE from Berkeley in 1972, and afterwards he worked at IBM for 12 years, where he eventually held corporate responsibility for all of IBM's advanced research in mass storage systems and technology. In 1985, he joined Hambrecht and Quist H&Q Group as a general partner. In 1986, he founded H&Q Asia Pacific, a company that has been recognized as a pioneer in Asian venture capital and private equity. Dr. Su has been recognized by a number of organizations, including Businessweek as a star of Asia and Forbes magazine as one of the 25 top deal makers. That was back in 2007. He also serves as chairman of the board for Give to Asia, which is a nonprofit organization that promotes philanthropic investment in Asia. It's my pleasure to recognize Dr. Su as one of our EE Distinguished Alumni for 2015 for nurturing the high-tech industry in Asian developing countries with the first venture fund in the region, and for his philanthropy. Dr. Su? Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
You can imagine that when I was here back in 1966, that my scholarship paid at the end of the quarter, but the tuition started at the beginning of the quarter. I had to, for every quarter, go to International House to negotiate a loan to pay the tuition first before using the money of the scholarship to pay back at the end of the quarter. From that, and then from many nights and days work in the Corridor Hall 373, today I got this award full of gratification, full appreciation. And yesterday, driving into town, and pass through the Sather Gate and check into the Durand Hotel, the 100-year-old smelly Durand Hotel. Everything comes in live, and stop by for get a top dog. So all the memory come back. And I'd like to thank my wife for supporting me, put hubby through, and she worked in the chemical biodynamic lab, and she actually finished her PhD prelim in Caltech earlier than I did, and maybe Chinese society, she thinks the husband should get a PhD rather than the wife. So I end up getting a PhD. And with the Berkeley education, the thing two strikes to me. One is the thing outside the box. During the days, the early 60s or so, it's the free speech, People's Park, and Berkeley students dare to do everything, to think big, fear nothing. So the nurture this entrepreneur, innovative thoughts. And I want to mention two things. One is that today the talk about the servers, the talk about cloud, the basic technology is disk drive, hard disk drive. This is something everybody hates. IBM invented that 75 years ago, and from since then, everybody trying to kill it. And the CCD charge coupled device was not invented for the optical diode, the camera today, was trying to kill this hard disk drive. And we were involved with magnetic bubble technology, tried to kill the hard disk drive. It's so ugly, the rotating, and you cannot compare it to transistor. But then it cannot kill. It's so cheap. Today you can get a terabyte, with $199. And 85 when I left IBM, that's the size is like a refrigerator. It's a 6 gigabyte Coronado. So that's advancement. I led a team in IBM develop the MR head, which is the key component to advance the disk drive as of today. And second thing I want to mention is that the world is so big and the opportunities so plenty that I was at the peak of my career in IBM, heading all the hard disk drive R&D in the research. And then the opportunity come to join Hamburg & Quist as a venture capitalist. I had no idea what the venture capital is, nor most of the people in Asia ever heard about. They know the money in the grandma's mattress, and they have money in the banks. So what's the venture capital? And I had no idea, but I thought that's something that Intel had from Arthur Rock. So I joined Hamburg & Quist and become a venture capital for a long time. My mother always asked me, do you have a salary or anything like that? Anyhow, I think the Berkeley pride itself being innovative and willing to try everything. And I think that's great. I learned that from the years being in Berkeley. For this, I really deeply appreciate. Thank you.
So, congratulations again to all of our award winners, and thank you so much for coming, making time out of your busy schedule to come join us here today.